And you also have a pair of authentic leather chaps straight out of the Dog the Bounty Hunter collection. But hey there, Tundra Nation, and welcome back to the channel. Today on Tundra Tactical, we bring you our first video as a newly minted 100,000 subscriber channel. And that's going to be what your tactical pistol says about you. So sit back, hit that slide release, and let's start the show.
Kinky.
First up on the chopping block, if you've purchased an FNX 45 Tactical, well then congratulations, you were a 1911 guy and have started watching Colion Noir's videos. You heard him praise it as his bedside gun while overlooking your stockpile of 45s, most of which are going to be reloads. With a manual safety and a diminished ammunition capacity, you couldn't be happier with the downfalls of your choice. You couldn't stand the idea of carrying something smaller than a 45, but you knew you needed something a little bit more tactical. Most people would have just saved the money, but you, well, you're a go-getter. You promptly went out to the RV and punched a hole into the radiator. You know what? You should win an Oscar for that sad look on your face when you broke it to the wife saying the trip was canceled. You cheered yourself up though by spending that vacation fund on a new gun. And well, let's not forget about the red dot to go with it. It's gotta be a Trijicon RMR, because otherwise you're gonna look like a poor, and that's just unacceptable. With your vacation ruined and your new tactical FUD cannon in hand, you hopped on into that Nissan pickup truck to head down to the woods to try it out on some old beer cans and pizza boxes. Well, I guess you just can't take the FUD out of some people, I guess. You are the exact type of person that I would expect to smell their fingers after scratching their butt.
That's nasty.
Next up, we have the Walther Q4 Tactical guys. You all are the poors of the German gun fans because you can't afford an HK, and SIG, well, they stopped being cool 5 years ago. You had to settle for the slightly cheaper step-down model of what you really wanted, just like you had to date the sister of the girl you actually liked because nobody could figure out which eye to look at when they were wandering all over the place like a chameleon hunting fruit flies. You had to have that gun with the threaded barrel so you could tell all your friends what can you were gonna buy once you finished paying child support.
Why don't you go snowshoe to the Bell Center to watch back-to-back sold-out Simple Plan shows, then go eat some Montreal smoked meat, you bagel-munching rope pissers!
Continuing with the German gun makers, we've got the HK fanboys. Oh boy. I'm not going to narrow this down to a single gun because this applies to all HK guys out there. You live a life full of luxury, fancy cars, and pricey watches I can't even pronounce. You've elevated your social status to the next level, and even with all of that, your dad still has not come back. You spent your entire life trying to get the most expensive name brand things money can buy as status symbols just to be alone in a room full of the debt that you're hiding from everyone else. Your chances of finding a lady that's up to your standards are about the same as the number of high points you'd allow yourself to be seen touching. You drive a leased Mercedes on the weekends, but during the week you put on a disguise and ride public transit so you can keep the miles low. You, my friend, are about as useful as a white crayon.
You suck!
Now for some new age fuddery, we have anybody whose bedside gun is any form of Beretta 92. You are the new age FUD because you realize that 9mm is effective and ammunition capacity matters, but you're still stuck on the metal frames and Hollywood idolatry. I mean, if it wasn't a good gun, the producers wouldn't have picked it, right?
Wrong.
You fantasize about retiring to a camper on the beach, but with how you make decisions in life, that's probably going to be a Sprinter van in the sand next to that water treatment down off I-94.
All right, I'm gonna go cry.
You might as well be carrying a Browning High Power. At least with that, it would kind of look classy. This action movie fantasy world that you're living in is less believable than the head of the ATF saying they wouldn't be actively enforcing the gun brace ruling. Sure, buddy, I believe you. Yippee-ki-yay to you as well.
Hey, is that legal?
Those level 4 plates?
Yeah, we need to go.
Moving on, we have the SIG P320 guys. Now, my writer didn't pick a specific model because I didn't pay him enough to research the 45,000 different versions of the same impact grenade. And honestly, it's a fair point too, both the research and the grenade part.
To be fair.
For years now since its release, the SIG 320 line has just been plagued with claims, including videos and now lawsuits, that it's just not drop safe. This tells me that those that carry it either haven't heard the good news or they have the biggest reproductive organs around. You couldn't pay me to carry around something pointed at my junk that might go off if my kid hits me with the wiffle bat just right. You live your life on the edge with everything you do, including your dating life. Every Tiffany that you've ever dated has either slashed you or your tires at some point, but for some reason, the only women that you can date that aren't named Tiffany are CNAs, and that's basically the same thing. Your dream car is a Dodge Viper because you've heard how dangerous they can be to drive, and you'd like to give it a shot. Don't be ashamed of who you are, bud. That's your parents' job.
What? Jesus! That was brutal.
Far from the risky types, we have the hipsters. That's right, it's time to talk about you CZP10 guys. You flannel-wearing, neck-bearded hipsters and your CCP10 whatevers. You basically just bought a Glock 19, but didn't want to admit that you like the Glock 19.
What did you say?
I guess the only upside to having a CZ is when people see that O-light on it, they'll realize you were never gonna make the right choice anyways. We get it guys, seriously, you're special, you're different from everybody else, but do you have any idea just how many men your mother has told that to?
Ouch, baby. Very ouch.
Judging from the IPA that you're drinking, you have no concept of taste whatsoever, and that's because your mother wasn't home to cook for you because she was meeting with your Uncle Darren. If your mother was home to cook for you and you do have good taste, make sure to smash that like button. For the algorithm, of course. Next up, we have to start talking about the just as good options, and first up, we've got the Canik guys. These guys are the Gary V's of the gun world. They simply don't care what people think, and they're just there for the bargains and the memes.
That's rad.
These guys only root for teams that have no shot at winning a championship, and they still write letters to Fox demanding a season 2 of Firefly. They just like it, I guess. When they rent a car, they're always going to get the manager special because it's a bargain and it's either going to work or it's going to fail. And failing, well, that's okay to them. Just not failing to eject because your Turkish mold injected metal extractor didn't have the same strength as a more reputable one. Much like the SIG guys, you have chosen from a line with way more options than necessary to accomplish the goals. I mean, it's kind of like going to a wing place. While it's nice to have options, I'm really only gonna ever get a couple of different kinds at most. Trust me, I'm not trying them all. All right, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Do you feel like there's a problem with this list? Is there something not sitting right with you? Do you currently have about half a can of dip in your mouth? I got it. You're about to tell me that there's way too much fancy schmancy polymer and newfangled engineering on this list.
Yes, definitely.
Your tactical pistol of choice is a Ruger Red Hawk chambered in good old 357. Now, you may only be 25, but your soul tells you that you're a son of the Old West, and just like your heroes Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, you carry a trustworthy revolver and maybe a bit of the consumption. Some people pretend to be a cowboy, but you, my friend, you live that life. Well, sorta. You don't rope, you don't ride, and honestly, you don't even work around horses, but you do keep that Stetson in the back window of your Ford Taurus and wear a knee-length duster, even when it's 100 degrees in the shade. You happen to have very strong feelings about what a good pair of dress denim jeans looks like, and you also have a pair of authentic leather chaps straight out of the Dog the Bounty Hunter collection, but those chaps only come out during that special time with the ladies, which is almost never, or the 24-hour Tombstone Marathon on TBS. All right, folks, if you like the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment about what tactical pistols we should cover next. Don't forget to join us next time when we still don't know what the heck we're doing. Bye-bye.